Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining my session today about video prospecting. I'm happy to have you here with me today to talk about one of the hottest things in today's sales world. And the reason why it's such a hot topic is because, we all know that old sales rule. People buy from people they like. But after COVID, what happened is that we have much less face-to-face meetings, we have much less industry events, and it's much more difficult and challenging to create that likeness, to create trust, to create a human connection. Now, all of the sales departments in the world still have the same challenge. They all still try to get new customers. And where are the customers at? They are all online. So we are sending them email prospecting messages, and we are trying to get them on LinkedIn. But the thing is that it's very challenging to like text. It's also much more challenging to stand out. If we're talking about the sales world today, so business buyers are constantly bombarded with different messages from bots, from humans. There is a lot of noise, a lot of targeted ads around them all the time. It's very, very difficult to pop out of all that noise with something personal, with something engaging. And this is exactly what video prospecting can offer you. Video prospecting is basically your new foot in the door. This is what will allow you to create that trust and to create that human connection right from the first interaction, before you even met, before the other person on the other side actually decided they want to continue and engage with you. I want to show you a little example on how video prospecting looks like, and then we will dive deeper into it later on. But basically, a video prospecting message looks very similar to an email message. If we're looking at this email message, then basically there is an hello line, and there is a video, a thumbnail of a video, which if I will click on, the video will start playing. And then basically I see Yaniv's smiley face here, waving hello, and is on top of my LinkedIn profile. So it's very intriguing for me. It spikes my curiosity. What is Yaniv wanting to tell me? What does he have to say? He definitely looks like a very nice person. So it's definitely encouraging for me to click his video and listen what he has to say. So this is video prospecting, and we're going to dive deeper into it later on. But first, I just want to say a few words about myself. So my name is Liron Kaplan. I'm a co-founder at Bseller. Bseller is a global consulting and training company focusing on sales departments. We are basically helping sales teams to create winning strategies, to train their teams with different skills and tools that are all relevant in today's sales world. One of those tools is Vidyard. Vidyard is a great tool for video prospecting, and some of the examples I'm going to show you today are taken out of our experience with Vidyard. You can also find me lecturing at Jolt about sales and marketing and some management stuff. And you can definitely find me on LinkedIn, and I will be happy to connect with each and every one of you. Okay, so let's start with why video. So as I mentioned in the intro, video is an excellent tool to make you stand out. When we're talking about B2B buyers today, they have a lot of noise, they get a lot of messages. If your thumbnail is moving and if you're doing something personal on that thumbnail, you manage to get over the noise, you manage to actually engage with your prospects much better. And if you get them to click your video and then start creating that trust on the video, you're way ahead of the game versus all the others that are trying to reach that same business buyer. So definitely video prospecting is a great way to stand out in today's sales world. One more important thing is that video prospecting can allow us to build relationships from the first interaction. And I want you to think about what I've said just now, because I'm not talking about a video meeting. I'm not talking about a situation where both of us are in the same place in the same time, creating a conversation, engaging with each other. I'm talking about the video message that I'm sending you personally, and I'm trying to engage with you personally. So basically I can take all those factors that help me create relationships in face-to-face meetings. If it's my speech, the words I'm choosing to use, the intonation, the terminologies, it can be my facial expressions, it can be the way that I'm projecting emotions and sympathy, the way that I'm talking about the prospect's company or the prospect itself. All those stuff that I'm doing in face-to-face meetings, I can definitely do it in a video prospecting message, and it will be highly engaging, and it will allow the prospect on the other side to feel like a relationship is starting to build right from the first interaction, even if we're not there at the same time and at the same place. So we have standing out and building relationships. And one more important thing I want to mention is saving time. When we're talking about being in the same place in the same time, it's challenging. Many times we're talking about different time zones. We're talking about prospects that are far away from us. I know that when I worked with the Australian market, we had a very big time difference. I would love to have video prospecting back then to allow me to engage better with my customers. So when we're talking about creating interactions that are not happening at the same time and in the same place, but they are still highly engaging, we definitely manage to save time and still get that impact that we want to get. And also, I think one more important thing that we can do on video is we can explain complex issues. We can explain complex stuff during the sale process, and we can use visuals and do different types of visual effects that will allow us to convey the message, persuade the customer, deliver the information. And definitely, if we do a good job in explaining those complex stuff, we can also reuse those content pieces in other parts, in other sales. So saving time is a major aspect of video prospecting, even if it feels like sometimes recording a video might take more time. But actually, if you're starting to do it in a very natural way, you will see that it takes much less time than typing an email and making sure that all the information in there and everything is very well structured and so on. You can basically use that channel to make those interactions much quicker and not less deep. So we talked about saving time, and I want to also refer to the multiple stakeholders factor. We know that we all know that part in the sales process where we're talking to our prospect, and at some point the prospect says, okay, now I need to take this and discuss this internally with my team. And we all know what it means. It means that the prospect just now became a part of our sales team. And we really need to count on the fact that the prospect knows how to sell our product and to sell it to their team internally if we want to sell to keep going, or we can, of course, and we should always try to get other stakeholders in the game. So with video prospecting, obviously, we have the option to send one video to multiple stakeholders. We can also refer to each one of them by name and show them that we know the entire team and give it a more family vibe. But other than that, if we are also sending a good video to one prospect, and this video is explaining very well our value-added proposition and some other important aspects in our product, definitely we can assume that it will be much easier for this prospect to just go and play our video to his team instead of starting to demonstrate everything by themselves and then maybe put some important things aside because they're not as skilled as us in presenting the solution and the value-added proposition. So using video with multiple stakeholders is definitely a big advantage in the sales process. One more thing that we were surprised to find out when we started seeing the different use cases of video prospecting is we found that using video in the sales process actually accelerates the deal cycle. It happens for a number of reasons. One is that, like I just said, it helps to simplify complex issues. And it also allows us to create trust very quickly and push things forward. It also allows us to reuse some of those content pieces that we created and we saw that they are working effectively. So definitely a lot of the things that we need to make them happen in the sales process are stuff that we can make them happen with video, and we can actually make them happen in a very effective and efficient way. The last thing I want to mention about the different benefits of using video in your prospecting efforts is that when you're using video, you can get wonderful insights. It's nothing new. You also have it on email prospecting when you can actually get a trigger or get a notification when a prospect opens your email. But with video, you can actually also see if they watched your video. You can see how much of your video they actually watched, and you can also see if they transferred your video to someone else, if they thought that your video is valuable, basically. So all those great insights and follow-up triggers can definitely help you streamline the sale in your process. So we finished the first part about why video, and we understood the different benefits that video can give us in the sales process and in the prospecting process specifically. Now I want to talk about the funnel. How is the video prospecting funnel looks like, and how we should start thinking in funnels when we are doing video prospecting efforts. So the first thing, again, very similar to email prospecting, is open rate, right? We need them to open our email. Now, the thing that will affect them the thing that will influence on their email opens, on your prospect's email opens, is the subject line. And I can assure you that if you will use the word video in your subject line, or if you will say, if you use your prospect's first name and say that you created a video specifically for them, you will see an increased open rate. You will see that there is much more interest in video type of messages. The next thing in the funnel is the plays. After they opened our email, we want them to play our video. So the thing that will make them play our video will actually be two things. It will be the thumbnail and it will be the body of our email, the text that is actually written in the email body. So I will refer to the thumbnail also in the next slide, and I will give you another example. But these two things, if they are crafted carefully and personalized, definitely you will see the impact on the conversion rates in that funnel from opens to plays. After they play their video, there are two options. We either want them to reply to us or we want them to book a meeting with us. And in both cases, the thing that will determine if they will reply to us or book a meeting with us will be the content of the video itself and the call to action, the way that we will try to encourage them to create that interaction with us, to book the meeting with us. So definitely the content is very, very important. We should create impactful content. We should create some knowledge gaps to spike curiosity. We should show the prospect the different benefits that our product can give them. And we shouldn't discuss the how so much because we want to keep that curiosity going and we want to give them some incentive to come and meet us to learn more about what we are offering. So definitely a well-crafted content can definitely help you increase the conversion from plays to replies and to meetings that are actually booked. I want to talk about the thumbnail one more time. We also seen it in the beginning when I showed you Yaniv that was waving at me with my LinkedIn profile in the back. Basically, if we create a successful thumbnail, something that is personal and engaging, we are all humans. It's very, very difficult not to click it. If I see that something was made, a video was made personally for me, and I see a nice person on the other side of the screen, and they're smiling at me and so on, it's very, very difficult not to click play. If you did a good job on that video, you can be sure that you will also get the conversion later on. So definitely take the time to think about your thumbnail. In our workshops, we definitely teach different types of thumbnail tricks that you can use in order to get them to click your video. So you are more than welcome. The last thing we are going to talk about today is some tips that can help you create a more impactful video. And the first thing I want to say, and I think it's super important, is definitely to get comfortable. Okay, we are all seeing video. We used to seeing video in formal events, in our bar mitzvahs, in our weddings, in company events. Then very recently, we all became Zoom experts and started having much more Zoom meetings. And I'm sure that a lot of us also went through a process with Zoom meetings from a place where it may felt less comfortable to a place where today it's feeling a bit more comfortable. When we are creating videos for prospects, it's very essential that we will feel very comfortable. It's essential that we will be there in the moment, thinking about our prospect, thinking about them personally. And I think that sales leaders also have a big role in this. It's very essential to help your team if you want to get them into video prospecting, to make sure that they have the right equipment, that if they want, they can stand up and also have more energy in their video. They can project more authority, give them everything that they need in order to be able to create great videos. And once they will get into it and start practicing with it, it's also essential to give them a very encouraging feedback to help them get comfortable a long time, and you will see great results coming in later. The second thing, and it's super critical in order to create a successful video prospecting effort, is to research your prospect. Okay, you want to research your prospect in order to get personal with them. Basically, different things operate each one of us. We all come from different backgrounds, different beliefs, we have different hopes, we went through different struggles, we had different accomplishments, and we have different perspectives. But one thing also binds us together. We are all human, and we all have different buttons. Okay, if you refer to the last blog post that I mentioned, that I posted on LinkedIn, and you say something about it in the video, or if you actually put that post in your background, it's very difficult for me to ignore it. So definitely try to research your prospects, try to really understand the value that you can give them, and then try to think also which buttons you can actually push in order to engage with them, in order to create that trust, in order to get them to like you and get more connected with them on a personal level. That research also brings us to the last point, to offer value. And I mentioned a little bit about this when we talked about thinking in funnels. But basically, when we are creating the content of our video, we really should think about what's in it for the customer, like in every different sales interaction that we are doing. In that interaction, we want to really have a strong opening, very energetic, very friendly, and then we really quickly want to get into the part of what's in it for them. And if we manage to demonstrate what's in it for them, and also create some curiosity about how we are doing that, how we are getting those benefits, how we are getting those great values that we are now talking about, and we've seen other customers similar to you getting from our solution, then basically the customer understands that you have a real value to provide, and you are spiking their curiosity about wanting to meet with you and learning more about this, and then your chances of getting the meeting are much higher. So we spoke about the 3 different things on our session today. We talked about why video. We saw the many different benefits that we have in using video as part of our sales process and in prospecting in particular. We talked about the different stages of the video prospecting funnel. We understood what we need to put an emphasis on in each one of those stages in order to convert to the next stage. And finally, now we also talked about 3 different tips that can help you create much more impactful videos. So before I finish my session, I want to leave you with a nice saying from Maya Angelou, an American poet. And what Maya Angelou basically said is that people will forget what you said, they will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. I hope that you will take some of the great ideas we discussed in this session today, and you will use them to create wonderful videos that will make your customers, your prospects, feel great. So thank you very much for listening, and I will be happy to connect with you on LinkedIn, Facebook, and you also have my email address here, and I will be more than happy to hear from you. How are you going to use video prospecting in your sales department? Have a great day, everyone.